Let's go to page 617. Start with number 1. Okay, so this one you have the point P at 3/5, negative 4/5. And it tells you that this is a unit circle. And you want to look for the 6 trigonometric functions. Okay. So again, it's a circle. So what you do, you graph. So this is the x will be positive. So you just go a random length. Notice this is longer than that, and it's negative. Okay, you make it a little bit longer. Okay, again, just draw a triangle. So this is 3/5, right? That's your x, and that's y. So you have to watch out your directions. Okay, negative is going down. And again, it's a unit circle, means radius is equal to 1. So you have this circle going like this. Okay. So it's a circle. Okay. But you don't want to draw the circle, just draw the triangle. Okay, so you're going to get the 6 functions. So sine of s. Okay, so sine is a vertical over hypotenuse. So this over there will give you negative 4/5. Cosine of s. Cosine is horizontal, or the x over the radius, so it will be 3/5. Okay, tangent is sine, or the sine over cosine, or the vertical over horizontal. So it's going to be negative 4/5 over 3/5. Okay, and then to simplify that, when you have a complex fraction, you can go ahead and multiply by common denominator, so that this will cancel out. So this will equal to negative 4/3. Okay. So once you get the primary functions, then you can get the secondary function. So cosecant go along with that, so just flip upside down, so it'll be negative 5/4. And secant, again, take reciprocal, so it'll be 5/3. And cotangent, take reciprocal, so it'll be negative 3/4. Okay, and that's it for number 1. Okay, number 3, the point P is as square root of 7 for 3/4. Okay. So again, when you draw the triangle, it helps you to visualize, so easier to do. Okay, so it's square root of 7. So just put a random point over here. So this is square root of 7/4. Now this 3 is a little bit longer than that, because 3 is square root of 9. So this is longer than that. So when you draw, you have to have a sense of which is longer, which is shorter. Okay. Now if you don't get, that's fine, but it's better to have the graph more accurate. Again, this is a unit circle. Unit circle means the radius is equal to 1. Okay, that's what unit circle means. Okay. So again, you get the function. So sine of s, sine is this over there, so it'd be 3/4. Cosine of s equal to this over there, so it'd be square root of 7/4. Tangent of s, again, tangent is y over x, so it'd be 3/4 over square root of 7/4. And then you're going to simplify, so multiply the common denominator of 4. And so you're going to get tangent of s equal to the 4 will cancel out, so you get 3 on the top. Again, that's the whole reason of doing the multiplying the common denominator. Okay, and then after that, you need to simplify, because you're not supposed to have square root on the denominator. So multiply by square root of 7 over square root of 7. So tangent of s equal to 3 square root of 7/7. Okay. Okay, so now we can do the other 3, okay, the reciprocals. So, sine, the reciprocal would be cosecant, it would be 4/3. Cosine, the one goes out, would be secant, would be 4 over square root of 7. Then you have to simplify. So you get 4 square root of 7/7. And then cotangent. Now you don't want to flip this one, because if you flip this one over, then you have to end up simplifying. So that's going to flip this one, okay? Right? That's what we had before, right? After we simplify, we get this, right? So when you flip this over, it will give you square root of 7/3, and that's it. Again, so you have to look, okay? if you flip this one, then you have to get rid of the square of 7, again, more work. Okay, and so that's it for number 3. Okay, number 5. Yeah, 1.25. You want to find the sine, cosine, and tangent of each number. Okay, so sine 1.25. Now this is radian. So when you use your calculator, make sure you put in a radian mode. Okay, so you have to kind of pay attention to the mode right over here. It tells you. Okay, so RAD means radian mode. Okay, so we just go sine 1.25 closing parentheses equal and 4 decimal place. 4 decimal place. So this will equal to 0.94898. So run it up to 90. Okay. Okay, then you go to cosine of 1.25. Okay, so you can just go cosine 1.25 radian. So this is equal to 0.3153. Okay. And then tangent 1.25. You can just enter your calculator. So tangent of 1.25 radian equal. So you get 3.00956 will be 96. Okay, so there's 4 decimal places, and that's it. Okay. Okay, number 7, you get 0.25 radian. So sine of 0.25 equal to, okay, so sine 0.25 equal 0.2474, and cosine of 0.25 equal to, so cosine 0.25 equal 0.9689, and tangent of 0.25 equal to equal to 0.2553. Okay. Okay, let's go to number 9. Okay, find the exact value of the 6th trigonometric function of the given number, and if a function is undefined, or for the number 6. Okay, so over here the angle, I'm going to call it theta, equal to pi over 3. Okay, so again, what you need to do is you have to draw your triangle. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the radian, then I want you to convert into degrees. So times by 180 degrees over pi. So the pi will cancel out. So this is equal to 60 degrees. Okay. Now, if you don't know where the 60 degrees is, right, what you do is look at the clock. So every number on the clock, there are 12 numbers on the clock, and it's 360, so divide by 12. So every number on the clock is 30 degrees. Okay. So this is at 3 o'clock, so 60 degrees would be 2 numbers, so it would be at 1 o'clock, so it would be right over here. Okay. So again, every number on the clock is 30 degrees. So this is 60 degrees. So now you need to apply your 30-60 spatial triangle. Okay. So 30-60 spatial triangle. Okay, this is 1, and this would be 1/2. Right? It's a unit circle. Unit circle, so you want to make a radius equal to 1. The short leg is half of the hypotenuse, and once you have the short leg, then the long leg will be square root of 3 times that, so it will be square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so again, so first you have to locate the angle, draw your triangle, and then figure out the 3 sides, use your spatial triangle from your geometry. Then after that, you can write your functions. So you're going to get sine of pi over 6. Sine is this over that, so it would be square root of 3 over 2. Cosine of pi over 6 is the x over the hypotenuse, so it would be 1/2. Okay. And tangent of pi over 6, it will equal to this over that, so it would be square root of 3 over 2 over 1 over 2. Okay. So again, to simplify, you need to multiply by the common denominator so that this will cancel out. So tangent of pi over 6 will equal to square root of 3 over 1, and just leave it as square root of 3. Okay. Okay. So now let's go and get the other 3. So again, first you get the primary, then you get the secondary. So the one go with sign would be cosecant. So this way you go to 2 over square root of 3, and you simplify by multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3. So you go to 2 square root of 3 over 3. Okay. And secant would be just flip this over, so equal to 2. And cotangent, you flip this over, so it become 1 over square root of 3. And you times it by square root of 3 over square root of 3, so equal to square root of 3 over 3. Okay, and that's it for number 9. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so you got 3 pi over 2. Again, you don't know where that is, convert into the degrees. So this cancel out. So they go to 270 degrees. So when you draw that, okay, here's your 0, 90 degrees, 180, and 270 degrees. Okay, so what you're going to have is your angle is going to be right over here. So you don't really have a triangle. Okay? So over here, the radius equal to 1, but in this case, the x equal to 0, y equal to -1, because you just choose a circle, right? Radius of 1. Okay. So now you can go and write all your functions, right? So sine of 3 pi over 2. So sine is the y over r, so it would be -1. Okay, it's this over that. Cosine of 3 pi over 2 will equal to x over r, so it would be equal to 0. Right? 0 over 1 is 0. Tangent of 3 pi over 2 will equal to the y over x, so it would be -1 over 0. So this is undefined. Okay. Okay. Now let's go and get the other 3. So sine, you get cosecant. So you flip this upside down, so you're going to still get -1. Okay, secant of 3 pi over 2. When you flip it over, you get 1 over 0. So this is equal to undefined. Okay, and cotangent. So you flip this over, you get 0 over -1, so this is equal to 0. Okay, so again, you flip this over, you get 0. Okay, let's go to number 13. Okay, 11 pi over 6. Now, another way to do it without converting, okay, so see what happened is pi over 6 equal to 30 degrees. So I mean every pi over 6 is going to be one number on the clock. So make a good use of the clock. Okay? So 11 pi over 6 means you start over here, you go 11 numbers. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you're going to be at the 4 o'clock position. Okay? So that's your 11 pi over 6. Again, you start over here. So 11 pi over 6 means you go 11 numbers. So you start at 3, so you go then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So again, this is your 30-60 spatial triangle. So this is 1. The radius is always positive. And this would be 1/2. The length is 1/2. Direction is negative because it's going down. Right? And this would be square root of 3 over 2 because you have to times the square root of 3 to get the long leg. Okay, so now you can do the functions. So sine of 11 pi over 6 equal to this over that, so it equal to -1/2. Cosine of 11 pi over 6 equal to this over that, so it be square root of 3 over 2. 2 square root of 11 pi over 6 equal to -1/2. Cosine of 11 pi over 6 equal to this over that, so it be square root of 3 over 2. 2 square root of 11 pi over 6 equal to this over that, so it be square root of 3 over 2. and tangent of 11 pi over 6 will equal to this over that, so it'll be negative 1 over 2 over square root of 3 over 2, and you multiply by the common denominator. So tangent of 11 pi over 6 equal to negative 1 over square root of 3, and then you have to multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3. So tangent of 11 pi over 6 equal to negative square root of 3 over 3. Okay? Okay, so now we can get the other 3. So sine, you get cosecant. So you flip the upside down, you get negative 2 over 1, so just negative 2. And secant, 11 pi over 6, you flip it over, you get 2 over square root of 3. You have to times by square root of 3 over square root of 3, so you get 2 square root of 3 over 3. Okay. Now the tangent, 11 pi over 6 equal to, now you don't want to flip this over because you're going to get additional work. Okay, you flip this one over, so you're going to get negative 3, negative square root of 3 over 1. So flip this one. Okay, so you can flip this one over, you get that, and that's it. Okay, you got 8 pi over 3. Okay, now notice this is more than one circle, so you want to unwind, okay? So you want to minus 2 pi, so 2 pi equal to 6 pi over 3, okay? So you want to make it a common denominator, so minus 6 pi over 3. So what you do is you get a coterminal, okay? So this is equal to 2 pi over 3. And this will equal to 4 pi over 6, so it means 4 numbers on the clock. Okay? So that way you don't always have to convert to degrees. Okay, so you start over here, you have to go 4. Again, every pi over 6 is 1 number on the clock. So you have to go 4 numbers. So start from here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be right over here. So it's going to be at 11 o'clock position. Okay? So in this case, this is your 60 degrees. So again, this is going to be a 1, right? Radius of, again, imagine there's a circle. Okay, this is a unit circle. So it's like this, okay? But normally we don't draw circle because just, waste time, okay? We don't need a circle. But if you have to, you can draw a circle. So that's what it is. So radius is always 1. Okay, so the short leg will be half of the hypotenuse, and it's in this direction, so it's negative. And this, so you multiply by square root of 3, so you get square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so you can measure 30-60 spatial triangle. Okay, let's get our function. So sine of s would be this over that. Okay, cosine would be this over that. And tangent, okay, so tangent would be this over this, so equal to square root of 3 over 2 over negative 1/2. Okay, then multiply by common denominator. So tangent s, so this cancels, so it would be square root of 3 over negative 1, so it would be just negative. Okay? Okay, again, the 2 cancel also, put the negative on the top. Okay. So cosecant would be 2 over square root of 3. So this will equal to 2 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, again, multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3. We already did too many times of that. The secant would be negative over 2. And cotangent, you flip this over, so it would be negative 1 over square root of 3. And so this will equal to negative square root of 3 over 3. Right, you just multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3. Again, that's your algebra 1 stuff, so we're going to just skip that already. Okay, number 17. Negative 5 pi over 6. So you can make a good use of the clock. Okay, look at the clock. Okay, now this is negative. So negative, we have to go clockwise. So starting from here, you have to go 5 numbers. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to end up at the 8 o'clock position. Okay, so this is 1. This is 1/2. Again, first get the length correct. Then you worry about the plus or minus. And you times by square root of 3. And again, this is negative. Okay. So sine of negative 5 pi over 6. Sine is this over there, so equal to negative 1/2. Cosine of negative 5 pi over 6 equal to this over this, so it would be negative square root of 3 over 2. And tangent of negative 5 pi over 6 equal to, so tangent is a slope, so it's y over the x, so it would be negative 1/2 over negative square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so you can multiply by 2 to get rid of the common denominator. So you're going to end up with negative 1 over square root of negative square root of 3. Okay? And again, you simplify. So tangent of, notice 2 negatives cancel out, right? So equal to square root of 3 over 3. Right? You multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3, and this will become 3, and that is that. Okay. So then you go and get your cosecant. You flip it over, you get negative 2. And secant, you flip it over, you get negative 2 over square root of 3. And this will equal to negative 2 square root of 3 over 3. Right, you just multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3. Okay, cotangent. Okay, let's go and flip this one. Okay, you don't want to flip this one because you have to do additional work. So if we flip this one, it's just equal to square root of 3 because the negative will cancel out. Okay, and that's it. Okay, number 19. Yeah, cosine of x equal to 0.724a. In looking for the angle, okay, so whenever you're looking for the angle, you have to go second function and make sure that this is in the radian mode. Okay. Okay. So again, when you're looking for the angle, you always second function. So go second cosine 0.724a equal, and how many decimal places? It didn't say, so just go in 2. Okay, so 0.76 radian. Okay. Okay, number 21. Yeah, sine of x equal to square root of 3 over 2. Okay. So this one, again, you can, actually this is, you should recognize that this is a special number. Okay. So remember, that's your y, that's your x, right? So you got square root of 3, and then you have 2, right? And, 2, no, back up. Sine is, okay, so you got square root of 3 over 2, and this is 1. Right? And if you recognize that this is going to be 1/2. So the graph is kind of wrong. So it's more like this. Okay. Okay, you should recognize that this is your 30-60 spatial triangle. Okay, so x will equal to pi over 3. Okay. Now if you use your calculator, you go second sine of square root of 3. Closing parentheses, divide by 2. You have to be very careful with a lot of parentheses. Okay, push equal. And so this will equal to 1.05. Okay, so you can use either one. This is exact, this is one kind of chop off the numbers. Okay, 23. You got s equal to 3 pi over 4, and you want to verify the identity cosine square s plus sine square s equal to 1. Okay, so what you do is you just substitute, right? So cosine of 3 pi over 4. Now when it's square means you're squaring the function. That's what it means. Okay. So you want to verify that. Okay. So you're going to get, so that's going to work these things out. So cosine of 3 times pi divided by 4, cosine, and then square. Okay, that's going to push equal first. So you're going to get negative 0.701 square. Okay, and I'm going to square that. So I'm going to square the answer. Back up. Okay. Okay, so negative 0.7071 square equal. Now you have to be careful. Okay, let's back up. Okay. Okay, cosine 3 times pi times divide by 4, okay, equal, and then you want to square that. But you have to be very careful, okay, because when you square that, the way it is that when you square the answer is going to, you have to kind of put parentheses around that. Okay, so you just go and square that. Okay, so you're going to get 0.5. Okay, now over here, same thing. You're going to get sine 3 times pi divided by 4. Okay, push equal, and again you square that. Push equal, you get 0.5. Okay, so you got 1 equal to 1, and you put a check mark. Okay, so that's how you verify. Okay, let's go to the next one. So again, you got the s equal to 0.7. So again, you want to verify this. So you want to verify this identity. So you're going to get cosine of 0.7 square plus sine of 0.7 square equal to 1. Okay. Okay, so that's going to do that. So cosine 0.7 close and push equal. Then you square that equal. So you're going to get 0.58498. Okay. And this one over here. Notice I carry a lot of digits, so it's make it a bit more accurate to make sure. Okay, so I got sine of 0.7 equal, then I square that, equal, so 0.415041564. Okay, and when you add, so you're going to get add equal to 0.9999, okay, something, okay, but because it's running off, okay, so this is close enough, because when we're doing this, we're missing some digits, but you should see that should be equal. Okay, if you type out the whole thing, okay, then you can see that it's equal to 1. Okay, if you, without running it down, if you just put down cosine, actually back up, so you want to do parentheses cosine 0.7 square, okay, plus parentheses sine 0.7 closing parentheses square, and push equal. Okay, you can see that equal to 1. Okay, so if you just type out the whole thing, the calculator will kind of save the digits. So if you write it down, you're going to miss some digit. You're going to be off by a little bit. Okay.